What's good, y'all? Happy Friday. I know that Thanksgiving was yesterday. I hope y'all filled your bellies up with a lot of nice turkey and mac and cheese and stuffing and collard greens and string beans and all that shit. Casserole even. I'm not gonna judge you, but I'm just trying to include everything. All right. I did have a great Thanksgiving, spend a lot of time with family and all of that. So I appreciate everybody that, was sending me Thanksgiving wishes and all of that. I appreciate that. But we got to get back to business, okay? We got to get back to the shits, all right? A lot of bullshit's been going on out here, I got to get to it. Gather round, because once again, the internet has reminded us that when in doubt, record it. And when in doubt, absolutely do not drag minors across salon floors like you're reenacting some sort of Mortal Kombat scene. So let's talk about the Maryland hairstylist Jayla Cunningham, who I have talked about before on my channel. I made a video about her a while back, like several months back. She went viral for body dragging a 15-year-old across her salon like she was a suitcase at baggage claim, and now has officially been convicted of second-degree assault. Yes, convicted. Like the state of Maryland said, you know what? We have laws against WWE performances on commercial flooring. Take a look.
Okay, guys, this picture of this very beautiful young lady sitting on the countertop celebrating her first apartment, yeah, that didn't last very long. This is Jayla Cunningham. She is a DC, Maryland hairstylist who was accused of dragging a teenage client across her salon because she was under the impression that the teen had not paid for the service, so was going to attempt to take scissors and cut the service out of her hair. Apparently, there was a mistake in the Cash.app transaction. The girl actually transferred the money to the wrong Cash.app account, and they just, at a certain point, were not able to communicate. And then there it goes. She was caught on surveillance camera dragging this particular client, and it went from there. Now, Jayla is facing criminal charges and could be facing up to 10 years. She has recently been found guilty and she is awaiting sentencing, and she has the potential for up to 10 years.
Wow. 10 years is a long fucking time. Now, if you probably didn't see that video or have no idea what I'm talking about, let me kind of revamp the incident for you in a little bit of a snapshot, and then we can go from there. So picture this. It's March 2025. People are minding their business, rolling TikTok for hair tutorials that they'll actually never try. And suddenly, boom, right? There's a video of a 19-year-old hairstylist who's Jayla, right? Snatching a teenager right up by her hoodie and scalp and just dragging her across the salon like she was trying to exfoliate her back with friction burns. The argument was allegedly over a $150 service. Now listen, salon prices are high. We all know this. Hairstylists be charging $150 just to look at you and another $200, to speak to you, a deposit to breathe, and a fee for just simply existing. But according to the stylist, she thought the girl was trying to run off without paying, dine and dash, if you will, but make it beauty industry. And that's when Jayla said, not today, sweetheart, and apparently activated her inner Marvel supervillain. Now, 50 million views later, once the video dropped, it spread like wildfire. And the crazy part about it is Jayla was the one that actually released it. She was the one that actually put it out there to the public on her TikTok. 50 million views. People across the world were debating the ethics of dragging minors versus letting Cash App solve your problems. Some were like, that child deserved to be snatched for stealing. Others were like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. But then the teenager's mother comes out and clarifies the girl wasn't stealing anything. She accidentally cashed out the money to the wrong person, which does happen from time to time. It's happened to people I know. Now, if you ever use Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, any of these apps, anything, then you already know one wrong letter and your money is gone forever, right? You're never seeing it again. Straight into the abyss. Sent to some dude named, Lil Toe 215, right? Who's not about to refund you jack shit. So the teenager was trying to fix the mistake, probably panicking, probably trying not to cry, probably scared, and probably typing an email to Cash App support, knowing they weren't going to respond before 2032. And meanwhile, Jayla was like, guess who's not waiting? These hands. Now, the family says the girl was traumatized, which I can understand. I bet, right? It's understandable. You know, imagine going to get your hair done and suddenly you become a Swiffer mop, right? And not the good one either. Like one of those Dollar Tree ones, right? That's what she was, all right? The Dollar Tree ones with the broken handle. Now, fast forward, the court has officially found Jayla guilty of second-degree assault. Now, in Maryland, that can carry up to a 10-year prison sentence. Damn. All right. 10 years is a long fucking time, man. That's a whole decade, a whole Netflix subscription cycle, like a whole middle schooler's lifespan. Like, now, does that mean she's definitely getting 10 years? Probably not. But the fact that the max is even on the table, girl, what was you thinking? You know, was the drag worth the sentence? And shout out to Wallow on $1 Million Worth of Game. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the name. You know, if you heard of Gilly the Kid, if you've been anywhere on the internet, hell, if you were an Eagles fan, you definitely know who these people are that I'm talking about. But Wallow basically said, like, when he was in prison and he was incarcerated and he was talking to some of the OGs in there, they asked him, you know, how many minutes did you get? And he couldn't understand what he was talking about. He's like, minutes? What are you talking about? Right? He didn't know where he was going with it. So basically, to wrap it up, he said, how long was the bad thing that you did? Because if it was 5 minutes, 5 minutes gave you 50 years. You did something for 2 seconds and it got you 20 years. And so I relate that to this story. Was the drag worth the sentence? Imagine sitting in jail explaining why you're in there. You know, what you in for? Oh, aggravated hair care. Now, look, I do understand salon frustration, right? Me being a guy, you know, I can understand frustration from a business perspective, right? You got people booking 5 braids and showing up wanting goddess lock. People bring hair that's already tangled. People show up 3 hours late with iced coffee and attitude. But one thing salons are not supposed to offer is the full body drag special. Like, that's a little extra. That's a little over the top. And I'm pretty sure it requires certification. What's wild is how social media escalates every fucking thing. 30 years ago, this would have just been a rumor that your auntie told you while whispering to you across the table, right? This would have just been, you know, salon talk. If you was there, you was there. If you weren't, you weren't. And and it stayed there. Today, millions of people are running the footage back like it's basketball highlights. You know, the video became a cultural moment, not because people enjoy violence, but because, one, it tapped into the ongoing conversation about customer service tensions, especially within the beauty industry. It also revealed how young workers can just snap under pressure. And 3, and it was the most chaotic hair salon moment since that viral "you got me messed up" braider meltdown. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. But it also shows something deeper, right? And y'all know I always go through, you know, kind of the deeper messages here. But it showed how fast misinformation spreads. For days, people thought that this girl was stealing. And it turns out she was just technologically unfortunate, right? And the real lesson is that if this situation teaches us anything, it's this. Before dragging somebody, maybe ask, hey sis, you know, did you Cash App the wrong person? Because 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. And more importantly, your reaction can absolutely be worse than the problem. And that's exactly what happened here. I'm not saying that motherfuckers don't be dining and dashing or getting up and running out the fucking salon, right? That happens too, right? And the chicks that do that are bum bird brain ass chicks. So I'm not talking about that. But more oftentimes than not, folks ain't trying to do that, right? And a good amount of times, the folks that are trying to do that, you can spot them before they even get up in the joint. Jayla was worried about losing $150. Now she might lose her freedom for years. That's a terrible exchange rate. Now, you know, the official sentencing is set for January 22nd, 2026. And honestly, that courtroom is going to be packed. You know, I mean, half the people will be there for justice. The other half will be there hoping the judge, you know, plays the viral video in slow motion like a football replay. Now, what are my final thoughts on this whole situation? This whole situation is both tragic and very, very crazy and absurd. A perfect example of how a small misunderstanding can explode into national drama. A Cash App typo turned into a courtroom case. A hairstylist turned into a human forklift. A teenager turned into an unwilling Swiffer sweeper. And the internet turned it into a spectacle. Now, granted, she posted it, okay? She posted this shit. So this is, again, on her. But at the end of the day, a young girl was traumatized. Another young woman threw away her future over a moment of fury, and a society obsessed with viral moments watched it all unfold like it was a reality show episode. And speaking of that, I also have to blame shows like Baddies. Shows like, Housewives and shit like that, where they are displaying to you grown ass women acting a fool and having these young women who watch it think that because these chicks on the TV screen have a little bit of clout, have a little bit of, status or whatever the case may be, a little bit of a following, that, oh, they do it, so it's okay for me to do it. They dragging bitches across the floor, I can drag bitches across the floor. They out here cursing up a storm and fighting and acting crazy, I can do it too. And that's actually not okay. All right? It's not okay. It's not okay at all. And what's crazy about it is Jayla at the time was, I believe, around 18 years old, right? She's now 19, but I believe she was 18 years old. She was only a few years older than the chick she was dragging. So you see how the cycle is just repeating itself? It's ridiculous. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your Cash App username simple. And if you're a hairstylist, the only thing you should be dragging is the comb through your client's hair, not the client across the floor. But that's really all I got to say on this whole situation, man. I just had to, talk about it, give an update on the situation since I did make a video about this chick prior. We'll see, right? Now, will I think she'll do the whole 10? I don't think so. But, she might do some jail time and some community service, all that kind of stuff. Who knows? I don't know, right? But if she does end up doing the whole 10, man, that should definitely be a wake-up call to a lot of you chicks that think acting like this over business disputes is okay. All right, because I did see a lot of chicks thinking that the shit was okay when it first happened. Like, oh yeah, listen, she shouldn't have been, trying to steal. Like, I would do the same thing. Oh, really? Well, then now you end up in the same position. Now you also can lose your freedom as well, because you think acting like a ghetto ass hood rat is the answer, and it's not. You shouldn't act like that, right? You shouldn't act like that over miscommunications and business dealings. You're a business owner, okay? No matter how young or how old you are, this is the life that you chose, okay? And sometimes situations like this are going to pop up, and you need to be able to maneuver them smartly, okay? Or at least with a clear head and a clear mind. It doesn't make any sense for you to try to act like this, for essentially less than $200. And now you could potentially lose your business, and all you're going to end up with is doing some chick's weave named Gloria in the state penitentiary. And while you at it, you're going to be ironing her drawers and clipping her toenails. But anyway, that's really, again, all I had to say. Don't forget to smack a like on the video. Also, don't forget to hype up the video, okay? If you have the ability to hype it up, I would really appreciate that. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. And also make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you get updated on all my videos that I drop, okay? Other than that, make sure to subscribe for the one time. Peace.